Hi, I'm Alex from Novation. We're here today at Gear4music to take a look at our latest flagship synth, which is the Summit Synth. One of the great things about Summit is it's got an audio input. Now, this is where I love to kind of route things like groove boxes, like we've got a little circuit set up here as an example. I can run sound straight through that audio input, and it can either be pre or post filter, and I can use the dedicated effects, I can use the envelope, I can use the distortion, and this is really where it kind of comes into its own. I absolutely love using this as a kind of creative tool, especially for kind of the sound that I like making, more of the sort of harder electronic sort of sound. You can get some really, really interesting results out of it. So let's take a little look of how you can kind of get sounds from a groove box into the audio input and how you assign that with the synth. So what we've got set up here is just a mono output from our drum sequencer here via the Novation circuit. That's just going into our mono input on the rear of the unit. Now, at the moment, if I hold down a key, I'll initialize the patch like we have done throughout to hear our trusty saw wave again. Now, it won't hear anything kind of coming through. Now, if I unmute these drums, there is now a drum pattern running on here. So I go to note, you can see the basic step sequence going on there. Now, when I actually hold the key down, that will suddenly jump into life. So if I then mute these out again, so and press play, so it will play. Now it's playing and I hold down the key. Now, if I go into our voice and you select the audio input, now it's on off as standard, but I select that to pre-filter. Now we can obviously hear the synth as well as the audio input. So what I'll do is I'll back that all off. So now you just hear that kick drum. And it sounds like techno straight away holding that down. So if I now press and put to post filter, that will now bypass the pre-insert point and go to post filter. So we can still use the effects section as an example, but not being funny, why would you not want to hear a drum kit through a filter? So let's go back to pre-filter and we'll put latch on just to keep the key open. So what that opens, it opens the VCA and it'll let the audio input through into the synth. So now we can start using the frequency cutoff here, envelope depth, even the amp envelope. So it's really kind of very crazy straight away, and I love being able to sort of do additional processing, whether you're in the studio or kind of on a live stage setup. Now, obviously the way that it will work, we can actually decide whether or not where we want that audio input to be inserted, but we can also have a mix of the keys as well. So we can obviously have the audio input, but we can also have the synth playback as well. So again, in this case, it's pretty severe kind of what's going on with that, but it just shows that what's possible really with it. So if I now hold the key down, you'll hear the oscillators as well. Now, kind of the thing I like to do, maybe put on like the arpeggiator again, maybe. So get something really, really unique by just kind of messing around with some of the settings and the filter, the arpeggiator, etc. So kind of getting something really very unique to your performance or your sound. A lot of other kind of filter banks that are out there, they can kind of just be like just offer one kind of functionality. What I love about this is you're kind of getting a lot of the power of this really powerful synthesizer married up with that really, really kind of important and interesting filter input and audio input, I should say. So yeah, just kind of, there's no right or wrong when it comes to that. It's all about experimentation, and Summit really has you covered for that. Whether you want to experiment with sounds or audio inputs or whatever it is that you want to mess with, it really does offer a really wide palette of sound that you can use. For more information about it, please check the link beneath the video, and I hope you enjoyed the videos today.